One day, this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream.
There is an indefinable, mysterious power that pervades everything.
Yo, we are live right now. Welcome to week 7, basically. Season 3, week 7 of us doing the podcast. And we got a very, very, very special guest today with us. So we know some of y'all, well, all of y'all love to do what? Y'all love to eat. So we brought y'all a chef for today. So he's, a Miami native. Went to high school with this gentleman. We played sports together. The Pioneer Swamp Dogs, as y'all can see in the background, right there, Swamp Dog. T, you ain't know I had it in the background though, but that's it's just what it is.
I didn't know that. I seen it when we was talking earlier, bro. That's memories there, man.
Yeah,
there, bro. You know I was a swamp dog animal, bro. You know I was a clown, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So we bringing y'all a chef. He's out of Jacksonville, I believe, currently at the moment, and doing this thing, upcoming and rising. He does the one-on-one. Y'all having date night with the missus. You want a nice 3-course, 5-course, 10-course, 5-star meal. You know what I mean? He gonna bring it to you guys. So, but he does have a story, like every guest that comes on here, and basically we are going to explore that. So. I'm not going to introduce myself, or I'm sorry, the guest that we have, or just anybody else, but I'll start with myself. But before I do that, make sure y'all go watch us on YouTube right now. Subscribe to YouTube. I Stand on That podcast, as y'all can see the emblem here, upper right-hand corner, TikTok, Twitter. We're on all platforms. Make sure y'all go follow, share this actual live right now, because we're on Facebook Live and every other platform as well. So, but I'm Mr. Daily Insight. Mr. 305, Mr. Dade County representing Orlando at the moment. So, DA, introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, what's good? What's going on, folks? This is another Sunday that we get to be here together. It's 80-some degrees here in Orlando, and it's sunny and it's partly cloudy, but it's a beautiful day. But it's also good to just be here so we can have this conversation. It's going to be a different conversation than the one that we had from last week, but I think it's going to be just as good, just as impactful. And also I think we're going to learn a lot, like we're going to get to learn the world through the eyes of a chef, someone who cooks, someone who interacts with people, someone who is not simply in the restaurant, but also knows cooking from the vantage point of street vendors and even in different countries. So I'm really excited about this conversation, because I guess this is another conversation where we get to open up perspectives and really dig deep into, what we do. And then, we close things out with what we stand on. And so today is going to be one of those episodes as well.
All right. So without further ado, I want to give a round of applause right now for Chef T in the building. Chef T, represent. Tell us who you are.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Like Lump said, been friends since high school. It's my boy, man. It's one of my brothers.
Yeah.
Man, I started off a little bit, man. My name is Teron Barr, originally from Miami, 305 boy. Always had a passion for cooking, man. Played football. That was my first love. Ended up getting a scholarship up to Charleston, South Carolina, small school. Dealt with a lot of adversity, man, in early life, man. I lost my mom when I was 14. Very tragic. That was my best friend. Didn't have no direction, man, where I was going at. And my brother took me under his wing. I love him to death, Timothy Belcher. A lot of people know him as Belcher.
Yes, sir.
Took me under his wing, man. Transferred me out to North Miami, man. It was the best decision ever.
Swamp Dogs, baby.
All day. Got with a couple of guys. We formed a pack. We were the minorities of the school. You know, they called us Yanks back in the days, man.
Yes, sir.
You was American, you was called a Yank.
Hey, hold on. Case in point, DA's from Haiti, so he.
No, my family is Haitian. I'm not from Haiti. I was born here.
Well, your people. You get it. So
Yeah.
So I already know the access. But you know, the Haitian culture, man, they embrace me, man. You know, I got brothers to this day, man. They embrace me, bro. You know, didn't know too much about, the Haitian culture when I moved out to North Miami, where I went to school out in North Miami. So I learned a lot, man. You know, I learned a lot in those couple of years that I was out there. I was able to, jump on the football team. We had a good run for our junior year. We started out strong our senior year. We ran into some bumps and bruises. We ain't finished as strong as we could have because we had a talented squad, man. A couple of guys, made it far. We had one, I believe, out of our senior class make it to the NFL, man.
Mr. Glenn Holt.
We had a good run. Yeah. And during that era, man, 99 to 2002, we had dogs down there, man. At other schools, Miami Central, Edison, Northwestern, Carol City.
Well,
dogs down there that we competed against.
Well, DA know, and he's an avid football watcher and fan of everything. He's a Florida State. Show that hat off because he's a Florida State Seminole as well.
Oh yeah,
that's what I mean.
Yeah. And I want y'all to see
with me when you wear that one.
Y'all want to see that? This is my man cave. Y'all see that?
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the man cave right there. That's
people
what
ask
it
me
is.
all the time, "Hey man, you played for Florida State?" I said, "Nah, I just love them that much. I tatted them on me."
That's it.
This is a no friendly chat, bro.
Yes, it is. We all know it's on here all day long.
We don't accept pigeons and we don't accept water lizards in here.
That's what's up. So we're gonna get into some of these questions, man. Thanks for the intro as well. First and foremost, how did you get into the field and why? Talk to us about that.
Well, at a young age, man, my mom stuck me in that kitchen, man. My dad wasn't a chef, man, but he was from the islands. So I learned a lot of that island. My father didn't stay in the household with me. So when he decided to come over, whether it was a weekend or a day, he came to cook. And I look forward to that all the time, either watching him or just eating his cooking. My father always showed out when it came to cooking. But my mom was the one that put me in that kitchen, me and my sister. And she told me at a young age, you'll never have to depend on a woman to cook for you if you know what you're doing. So I stuck to it, man. I went in there, learned a lot of things from her, and I took whatever that she taught me in that talent, man. And I took it to the culinary industry, man. I didn't go to school for culinary. I didn't go to school to be a chef. I went to school for business.
You didn't go to school for Johnson & Johnson down in Miami? You go to Johnson & Johnson?
I ain't do JU. I ain't do no culinary blue. A lot of people feel like, in order to be a chef, you got to go to school to be a chef. You don't, man. Because, I've been in kitchens, man, where I have people got every knife in the world, every measurement in the world, can break down equations. But when they get on that line and that ticket come in and them pans get to popping and that grease get to burning and that heat get to hitting you, they crash, they fold. They fold like women foil, bro. They ball up. So, don't get me wrong. You got some that come through that field, that's dogs. And I respect that, But what I did learn, man, speaking with a lot of those individuals, man, with school, man, you just learning the basics. You learn the basics because nothing's going to prepare you for that in-house experience, hands-on, ready to go kind of thing.
And not to cut you off, there, because on our last podcast, we had a mental health special on Miss Valerie. Guess what? We got pioneers back to back. Valerie's a pioneer. Teron's a pioneer. So Swamp Dog's in the building.
Keep it going.
Let's keep it going. So I might have to find another Swamp Dog, but I got to find somebody though. But listen, as she mentioned, school is just school, right? Just like being a school teacher or anything, they don't prepare you to go into the inner city schools, right? Because that's just the information, the basic concept of, all right, we're coming and teacher. They don't teach you behavioral management skills, What you talking about, T? They don't teach you. All right, well, when that grease going to fire and the heat going to go, hey, it's different. It's a different atmosphere. They can't prepare you for that. So when it comes to that, a lot of it is having that hands-on experience, so you know how to kind of conduct yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because you got to think outside the box sometimes, man. I'm telling you, in this industry, man, you got to think about it. This is the most critiqued industry in the world. It's food. It's something going in somebody's body. That's just like medicine. But you eat food on the regular all day long. You don't take medicine unless you're ill or sick on the regular. So it's food. So people are very picky, man. You know, they're very picky. I've ran into guests, literally, and I'm not lying to you guys. Example. We used to have some guests come in, a couple. They were our regulars. They would come in with a grocery bag with their own frying pan. Okay? They wanted us to cook their food in our restaurant in their own frying pan.
Is that allowed?
Some places
I didn't hear you.
do that. But also keep in mind, the more you're willing to accept people's demands, the more your restaurant is going to be welcome.
True.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
We had another guest, and this is all at this same restaurant. That's why it's what it is right now, which is Prime 112. And I will put them out there because they are a beast. We had guests that wanted their food cooked in aluminum foil only. So we would season their fish, put it in aluminum foil, pop it in the oven, cook it. We were not allowed to take it out the aluminum foil. We had to take the aluminum foil, put it on the plate, and they had to serve it to the guests, and the guests open it up themselves. Now you hear that, you like, what? Like serious? Like people, yeah, they do. They do. You have LeBron James used to come to our restaurant and want us to cut his 4-pound steak up into little cubes and chunks.
Not Braun. Not Braun.
Oh, the celebrities are very, very picky, my guy. And one thing I try to tell the kitchen staff, because they have this stigma in the restaurant, or if it's a celebrity, or if it's the owner, or if it's the owner's wife or family, close friend, or a VIP. And I always tell them, you know, so same.
What I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Right. If I have to change how I'm cooking for this person, then I'm not doing my job right. Because I should be cooking the same way for this celebrity as that same guest that's paying the same amount of money for that steak. Because majority of the time, the celebrities don't even pay. They're getting the meal comped, and all they got to do is worry about the tip. So it's an easy fix for them. Sometimes the tips ain't even as what you would probably think it is because you just got all this food free. So I treat them no different. One thing about Prime 112 that I liked about Miles, which is the owner, Miles Chef, if you were a celebrity and you came in there with 10 people, he would comp the whole table. Reason being because those other 9 people are going to feel so valued and appreciated that they're going to bring another 10 or 9 people with them. So now you have 9 individuals probably having a party of 5. You created 40 more guests.
Nice.
So you're building that wealth and that relationship, you know, and they're going to remember that time where they thought they had to pay this $200 or $300 bill and you comped it all. Oh, they're coming back and they're going to tell a friend. Everything's about social networking now. So, you know, word of mouth. You can lose 25 guests from a restaurant by one bad comment.
Yeah.
It's hard to gain 10 guests, you know what I'm saying? So you're always thinking of it that way.
No, good stuff. DA, what's up? You got some questions for him? For Chef T?
Yeah. So when you say you don't have to have like a license or any like formal education, so how did you go about getting to the point where you could work in a kitchen with the people who had the education? Like, what personal education did you go through to prepare you for that moment? Because obviously you still got to go through some learning on your own side, so that way when their order comes through, you know exactly how to make that order, or if a request comes through, you know how to meet that request. Oh, I know how to cook that, or we don't have this. I know the other substitute to this piece of ingredient.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How did you educate yourself?
So I took the long route because I didn't go to school. And I felt like I was a late bloomer because football was my first sport. And because I didn't take that route of wanting to be a chef, I didn't know so much things, bro. I worked for chain restaurants for a while, and I had, my peers telling me like, man, you talented, man, you good, man, you need to go to the next level. And, in my mind, I felt like I wasn't ready yet because I'm not going to jump into anything that I know that I'm not ready for. So, I built that body of work, team building, learning how to cook a steak, learning how to put a diamond on the steak, knowing my temps from using my hands, because you can find out what's the temperature of a steak by using this piece right here of your hand. You get familiar with this, you can get familiar with a steak because there's no bone there. So that's the same thing as touching a steak. These are things that I taught people because you start out with thermometers, but the thermometers are going to slow you down because in the kitchen, man, every second counts. So you got to sit there and stick a thermometer in there and wait till you get to a temperature. That's time wasted. So, I had to learn steak, temperatures based off touch, based off timing. I know I can cook a steak mid-rare at 8 minutes, no matter what the size is, because I'm flipping. I'm constantly doing things to make sure the steak is cooking internally. So I took the long route. I took the long way, man. Once I got out of casual dining and I started taking it serious, I was in Charleston, South Carolina, which didn't have a big culinary background in fine dining or casual dining restaurant. It was more like chain restaurant, the Applebee's, the Outbacks, and things like that, mom and pops restaurants. And I decided, I said, I'm going to move back home to Miami because I know we had a big, culinary field down there. It was growing. You got a lot of chefs moving down there and things of that nature. So when I moved back down there, I stumbled upon Seasons 52 because, asking people questions, no question is a stupid question. And people told me Seasons 52 was that bridge. It was that bridge from casual dining to fine dining. So I'm like, instead of me jumping into fine dining, let me go casual dining. Let me learn some more. Let me learn how they operate. And it was a different ballgame because what I had just left, I was at the top of my food chain. And that's when I was very arrogant. I was at 22, 23 years old. I was cocky. But when I jumped in this field of fine dining, my first fine dining restaurant was Morton's Steakhouse.
And not to cut you off, T. What's defined? Because I don't know. Some people may know, some people may not know. What's the difference between fine dining and not fine
casual
dining?
Okay, so fine dining, man. If you walk in a restaurant, you look at the tables. It's a couple of things you can instantly find out about that is fine dining or not. As soon as you walk in and you see the tables that you're going to sit at have white cloths on them, that's fine dining.
Okay.
Because in fine dining, every time a guest sits down and they get up and leave, that tablecloth is changed. That restaurant has bundles in the back of those white tablecloths that they have to pull out every time. Fine dining also has wine glasses on the table. Normal times you only come to a restaurant, they may have silverware, they might have a water glass, but in fine dining, you're going to have a water glass and you're going to have a wine glass. Because in fine dining, their beverage list is predominantly heavy wine, champagne. Then you're going to have your beer and your tap and your alcohol beverages. In casual dining, you're more beer and alcohol and tap beer.
Like your bars, you would say.
Right. You're not going to find wine in Applebee's. Now, maybe, hey, things have changed because everybody adapts. But you're not going to find wine in Chili's and the Outbacks and the Longhorns and places like that. Those are your casual dining. They're not going to have tablecloths on the table. They're not going to have silverware on the table. It's you're going to look at their uniforms. It's different. Fine dining, they're in button up. They have on, they got to be crease. You're getting, you have to stand in a line before service start, and your manager comes and look at your uniform. If you're wrinkled, you go home.
Are you serious?
If you open up your yeah, man. If you open up your server book and you don't have cash to break bills down, you go home.
So where you get the cash from?
Your tip house as a server.
Oh, okay.
You take the extra time to go to your bank and get cash and bring it
Are
to
you
work.
serious?
Because it's not the manager's responsibility to break $100 bills and things of that nature. That's your responsibility. It's more work and craft than that. Also, with fine dining is your server don't make your drinks. They don't go and grab your beverage. We have, let's start from the kitchen. You have a food runner, which are people that stand on the outside of where we cook the food at, that runs the food. That's their job. Run food, clean the tables off. Your servers are servers. All they do is, what can I get you to drink? What can I get you to eat? That's their job. Then you have a bar mitzvah who makes you just stand there at a coffee machine and make coffee and tea. So that's the difference between fine dining. Now, when you go to high-end fine dining, those 6-star restaurants, all the food has to hit the table at once. So you have a 7-top party, a 8-people party. You're gonna have 8 food runners come to your table. One arm behind their back.
That's right.
No tray. No tray. Each one of them got their own plate.
Okay.
And each plate has to hit the table in a synchronized,
Why is that?
Time. Well, it's fine dining originally came from like the Europeans, and this is the French and things like that. This is how they train their staff to serve. You ever go overseas, this is what you're doing.
You look perplexed. You look like, whoa, this.
No, I'm actually enjoying this. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, you don't.
Okay,
you
go ahead.
You really don't. You know what I'm saying? And they put it to where it's a machine. Okay, in French, so you have different kind of kitchens too. In a French kitchen, the head chef is the only one that plates the food. So you can have 4 and 5 different stations. Only thing you do is cook the food and hold it. And when chef asks you to bring up the food, you have to bring it up. And he used tweezers and he placed the food up, and then they serve it in the window. Most of those kitchens are like a horseshoe shape. So everything is going to the center of that horseshoe. A lot of French kitchens are quiet kitchens. Now just imagine working 8 hours and you can't have a conversation. The only thing you can say is yes, chef, her chef. Or behind or corner. You can't say anything. It's all you.
Everybody basically working and focused on one task, basically.
And that's the plan. Because we get distracted. We get distracted by now. We have TVs. A lot of these restaurants have open kitchens so they can get to see the guests. A lot of kitchens have music going on in the kitchen. That's where you lose lack of focus. Believe it or not, and y'all will laugh at this, most errors are created when it's slow than busy.
Really?
And I always try to tell my guys, if you stay ready, you'll never have to get ready.
Nice.
If you stay ready, you'll never get ready. If you're busy or slow, it's still the same system. But a lot of people, slack off, get caught with their pants down. When it's slow, you get busy, boom, they're messing up the steak, or we have a long ticket times, or a guest is upset because their appetizer is taking too long, or the drink wasn't made right. Somebody dropped plates in the kitchen because they're rushing now, they're nervous. All that happens, man. All that takes place. But that's the difference between fine dining and casual dining. And to elevate it a little bit more, when you go to hotels, most hotels are fine dining. Now they'll have like little cafes and little grab and go spots in there to try to, accommodate, people that don't want to go and sit down. But most hotels are fine dining, and that's one thing I want to speak on. And what I learned in my career is that I would tell, the next person, someone that's wanting to be inspiring of a chef, work regular restaurants, your high-end places and things like that, but also try to jump in the hotel, get both fields.
Y'all heard that.
It's harder.
Y'all heard that from Chef T.
It's harder for a person to come from a hotel background and jump into a fast-paced background, because hotels plan. They have time of planning. They do a lot of banquets, a lot of weddings. So it's a lot of time in planning. It's a lot of space to be able to prep, have things together. You're talking about 100 staff members. versus a restaurant, you probably got, on an average 20 to 30 staff members. And hey, you probably got 48 hours to prepare for this party. So you got to get it and go. I've seen guys come from hotels and crash in that and go back to hotels. They tell you straight up, it's a different beast. I'm not used to this fast pace. Gotta go. It's hot back there, man. People get frustrated. It's tension. It's egos. You'll have a full argument about grits. Things like that. And you have to pay attention too, man, in these kitchens because you're dealing with boiling, scorching water. I've seen somebody lose all their skin pigments off their leg and foot for the rest of their life because they were walking with a pot of boiling au jus sauce off and turned the corner. Somebody else was coming and didn't say corner. You have to, those little things matter because you got glass, you got sharp knives. Hey, corner, behind, in front. You have all those words. Those are kitchen.
Just like in volleyball, if the ball comes to you, I got it. So
got it.
Alert everybody else.
Right.
Okay.
But that's that's sports in general, though, right?
Yes.
That's sports in general.
Right.
I bring out the communicate.
You got to communicate.
And I would say, that's where I got a lot of my skills from, and I just converted into cooking was because I played sports. And when I played sports, I always played a role of a captain. All the way up. So I know how to be a leader. I know how to get the best out of that person because everybody's different. You can't come at everybody hard. You got to know each individual, man. It's like,
I got a saying. I got a saying. It's like I say, know your audience, know your 111. When I say 111, know each person. The one is 11 people on the field, whatever. So know each person. Know what makes them tick. One person, you can yell at him, he get going. Other person, hey, you can get in his face. Listen, bro, I believe you. Let's get it done. So just know, basically what he's saying, just know who your audience is. What.
Man, I would tell everybody, sorry to cut you off, but I would tell everybody, man, go find this book. It's called 1 Minute Manager. And
what's the name of it?
It covers 1 Minute Manager.
Okay.
If you want to be a manager, and this is for any field, man, it ain't got to be just culinary. That book explained so much to me and helped me out a lot. Okay. It broke down different managers. You have the Seagull manager, which is probably like a GM or owner.
Yeah.
That's not always on the line, but they come in and swoop, and they only see what's going on at that current time, and then they're back out, right? So if they swoop in and you got 45-minute checks, that's all they thinking about. They don't know why the 45-minute check occurred. They don't know what happened beforehand. They don't know if the server, forgot to ring it in. All they caring about is what they seeing right there. And, the reprimand, that was something I learned about, how to be able to get the best out of my staff members without belittling them. Because I came from that same spot you were at. I was once that line cook. And I came from the old school. My chef outside and punched palm trees. Palm trees started this way when I started there. By the time I left, it was here. I had a DJ chef. Throw food at us. Throw plates at us.
Yeah.
Curse us out. And this is an open kitchen. Curse us out.
Yeah.
Loud to where the guests are looking up at us. Say, get out my kitchen and go home and think about it and come back tomorrow. But it built toughness. It built thick skin for me. You can't do that nowadays. Nowadays, the world is a lot sensitive. You can't pull that off. So I had to understand that and adapt to it. Granted, I never liked that kind of leadership anyway. So I knew once I got in that position, I wasn't gonna be that guy. Mm-hmm. One thing I always do, man, in my kitchens, man. When I first get in there, I speak to everybody. If I ain't dapping you up, I'm speaking to everybody, from the host all the way to the dishwasher.
Nice.
And that's the same thing I do when I leave. I'm dapping everybody up. I'm telling them either good job. I go through the fire with you. I go to war with you. So when I do come to you to discipline you, you understand, like, this ain't Chef T, so obviously I was in the wrong. If he coming to me to discipline me, I did wrong. And they take it more, what I'm telling them wrong. Hey, listen, man, you're doing all this good, but I need you to work on this right here.
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to, touch up on a few spots. They understand it better because they're used to me complimenting it. They're used to me having an interaction with them, and it's not always bad. So if I come to you and I sit you down, they know like, okay, I need to tighten up, and they don't take it to heart. And a lot of chefs struggle with that because it's, oh, you do what I say. Oh, you don't do what I do. You do what I tell you to do. Or they don't want to give the reason behind the why.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to explain the why. Why I want you to do this. Why I don't want you to be late. Why it's critical that you're here on time. Why it's critical that you clean this equipment every night like this. So now they feel a part and now they understand versus you saying just do it because I tell you to do it. Well,
Rhyme and reason, everything.
You're not giving me a reason behind, why I need to clean it better than what it looks like, or why.
Just like how your mama used to tell you, well, clean, do this. Why, mama? Because I said so.
Because I said so.
Mama, just explain to me,
and
mama.
Then what happens is they go and do it and it ain't how you want it. So now you're even more mad. When you could have taken the time to explain why and limited that. A lot of chefs struggle with that.
Yeah.
I'll pat myself on the back, man. One thing I can say I've carried through each restaurant through these years, man, is my personality, man. People are drawn to me, man. I'm like a magnet. Gemini. So, people are drawn to me, man. I don't have to do much. I treat people the same way. I'm the head chef. I talk to you the same way. You're human at the end of the day, man. You're just here to get a job, and you plan a position. Just like an engine. Just like an engine. Just like an engine. So, I always try to bridge that gap. I'm like the gatekeeper with everybody. If you got something personal going on, let's talk about it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about it. Believe me, I've been through it all. And I've had people be there for me when I needed them. You know what I'm saying? Again, like I told you guys at the beginning, it was a little struggle. I had to learn figure out a lot of things on my own, bro. And that means bumping my head quite a few times to figure it out.
Exactly. Now, that brings me to my next question. What are some misconceptions about Black chefs? We talked about it earlier before we jumped on, when it comes to that. So please explain some misconceptions because I'm pretty sure we have some. So fire off on that one.
Well, they don't think, first off, they don't think we have the education to be a head chef. Mm-hmm. They don't think we have the knowledge. That's what the stigma is, really. We are the minorities in this industry, but it is slowly changing and turning. It is slowly changing and turning, man. You have a lot of Black head chefs out here or private chefs. Their names are ringing across the world, man. They're doing big things. There's a couple of them that I follow. That are doing things that I want to do, the same path that I want to take, what they're doing now. One thing about Black people, we know how to cook. We know about food and flavor and things like that. Us taking it and converting it into restaurants has been a difficult task. Majority of your chefs have been, Caucasians or Europeans. They flooded the market for so long, and they're not willing to explain or give you that education to be that head chef. Sometimes you have to go out there and get it. And a lot of guys, a lot of Black chefs, they come to that crossroad, and a lot of them just fold. They don't take on that challenge. And the ones that are strong enough to get on past that crossroad, man, end up being great. The cards are stacked against you from the moment you go into an interview. I've had interviews where I know for a fact, this guy was testing my knowledge and didn't believe in me. I've had restaurants where they asked me to come in and cook 3-course meals. Give me a brown box. I don't know what's in the box. They're like, hey, what's in there? I need to make an appetizer, an entree, and a salad or a dessert.
Gotcha.
And you can see on their faces a lot of times, man, the wow, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Hey,
so
just like
go ahead. I'm sorry. And one thing I just wanted to say is that you don't see too many Black chefs in their late 40s or 50s in restaurants, because once we reach the goal or the goal that we set, we normally venture off on our own, whether it's a food truck, our own business, private. That's more of our route, you know. That's the route we're taking.
All right, there you got something else to follow up with?
Yeah, so I guess, you know, Chef T, I wanted to ask you, because you just mentioned, you know, because of the because of the way the industry is set up, you know what I mean? You know, it's dominated pretty much with white chefs and stuff like that. But as Black people, we also have different foods we make, right? There's different foods we make, there's different foods that we cook. So what outlets have you used to change up, you know, whatever menus, or like what, to the extent that you could? I don't know if it's like your own food truck, or if you had a chance to create or, you know, spruce up a menu from a current restaurant. Like, how have you found ways to like express your cultural expression through how you make food? Because, you know, when we talk about the season 52s and we talk about, you know,
J. Alexander's.
Yeah. A lot of those restaurants, they based off the European cuisine. Like it's based in European cuisine, but then we got African cuisine, we got Afro-Caribbean cuisine, we got Afro-Latino cuisine, we got Black cuisine, we got outside of that type of foundation. What have you done? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Talk to us about. And then you also mentioned how you also travel. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want you to talk about different, where are you finding inspiration when you make food, and and are you tapping into your own heritage?
Well, I've always had the ability, man, in every restaurant I worked in to create menus. You know, whether it was revamping the menu that was already there. You know, a lot of restaurants do like Valentine's Day menus. That's my time to now show my shine. You know, Thanksgiving menu, Christmas menus. Down in Miami, it's rare that you run across a restaurant that's closed on a holiday, make a lot of their money. You know, I've been to places where I'm like currently at right now. We're not open Thanksgiving, Christmas, or 4th of July. We're open Valentine's Day, but we don't do a special menu. You know, we might bring in one special dish and call it a day. So, you know, what I did was how I built my menu, which I have crazy amount of recipes and dishes that I put together, in which you can check me out on my Instagram on dishes that I've made. Mm-hmm. A lot of places allow you to do specials. So, you know, if you go to a restaurant, they might come in and say, well, the chef's special tonight is X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. That's when I'm able to now show my creativity. You know, I love oxtails, man. I mean, I don't know nobody in the South that don't love oxtails, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how can I convert oxtails, which in a restaurant business looks like a low tier food, make it a high tier food? You know, how often you get oxtails and grits with sauteed onions and tassel ham?
Stop talking. You're making me hungry.
How often you get that with it being the sauce being reduced down in white wine, you know, Sauvignon Blanc? So all I did was I took, you know, our culture, food, and what's already known, and added a little twist to it. Mm-hmm. You know, give you another example of chicken and waffles, man. You know, that's a common thing, right? Chicken and waffles. You know, everybody get chicken and waffles. You know, I like to do different ways. You know, what about a chicken and tater tot waffle? You know, now we talking, right? Mm-hmm. Or, you know, regular waffles. Well, what about red velvet waffles? Now I'm tapping into, you know, what we're familiar with. What we're familiar with. Because you got to be able to please all guests. That's one thing I learned. You have to be able to please all guests. It can't be what you would eat at home all the time. It has to be to the general, you know. A lot of people don't eat pork. Yeah. So that's something you have to take in consideration. You know, a lot of people don't eat cheese. I don't eat cheese. I'm a chef. I get beat up every day about that. I do not like cheese. I hate it. I can taste it. I can make some beautiful dishes with it, but I hate cheese. But that's something that I know the general public likes. So I have to take care of them. There's nothing like a curry, lobster mac, and cheese. Curry, lobster mac. I'm telling you, I have my chef sometimes look at me like, huh?
How we doing that?
Yeah, I'm even thinking about it myself. Like,
hey, listen, and they fly out the window. Fly out. It's like,
yeah.
Okay. See, I'm a flavor. With the black culture, man, we like flavor. So
Season.
It's easy for me. Season and flavor, man. So it's easy for me to, I'm a sweet and savory person. So I'm gonna put some things together to make it happen, to where you're getting the flavor, to sell a person first is when you put the plate down.
Presentation.
Look good. You already want them over. Presentation of everything.
Well, but you have in certain cases, right? You have chefs, their presentations, it's immaculate. But the taste, oh man. Hey, look.
But how did you get to the taste, Lump? How did you get to the taste?
I get it.
What made you want to pick that fork and spoon up and try it?
So
what you can get a plate of slop. Listen, hold on. You can get a plate of slop, and you're like, man, what is this? It'll be the best thing you ever tasted, right? Plate of slop, you be like, nah, I'm good. You can take that back.
Yeah.
So presentation will get you to the next step to have them tasting it now and finding out what it's about. Wow, it looks good, man. I hope it showed up, tastes good.
So you're saying lead with presentation first, and then
yes,
versus.
And I mean, me with my traveling, man. I've lived in a couple of different cities in the United States. I recently last year, man, I went to Cancun, and me and my wife, man, we jumped on the city bus, man. We rode all the way into the city. That's one thing about me. I love to go all the way into the city where the low poverty at. If I, go and travel somewhere, I don't want to just stay with the tourists at and things like that, just to learn different cultures.
Yeah, me too.
When we was riding on these buses, man, you seen a lot of pop-up little food stands, man. They was selling everything out there. You had one stand that had meat hanging from a hook. It's hot outside. And they're out there buying that meat. You see them shaving the meat off, and they're bagging it up and packing it up and going home. Because their body is used to that. Their body has adapted to that kind of living. But I know of me buying processed food that's went through USDA and packaged and things like that, and it's certified for human consumption. I know if I went and grabbed that same type of meat and went and ate it, it would have probably tore my stomach up because I'm not used to it. There's different styles with these cultures because they buy their food or they cook wild meat. That there's a process that you have to go through, man, to make sure that food is human consumption where it don't kill you. A lot of products, have to go through USDA to be able to be certified and to be delivered to your restaurants. They have to have that stamp and approval. Health inspectors come around, man. A health inspector can come around and shut your restaurant down, man. You ain't doing right. You got old oysters or you're cross contamination. You got chicken juice dripping in a seafood pan, or you got blood dripping from steak going into ready to cook food, which is like broccoli and mashed potatoes. That'll get you shut down, man.
Yeah.
That they don't play with that, man. They'll put a C on your door real fast. They give you opportunities to be able to correct those errors, but if they come back and it's the same error, bro, you done. And again, it's all about social media. That gets posted. So if you look up my restaurant, it's going to, bam, had these problems. People read reviews now, man. Yelp is big. Everybody's a food critic now. Everybody's a food critic because we got these now.
Yeah.
Everybody's a food critic. Everybody. And that's the one thing now. That's the one thing I take pride in, and I love to see that when my dish hit that table, they're taking pictures. That, wow, oh, this looks good. I love feedback, whether it's negative or good. I love feedback.
Yeah.
Because I know how to scratch things off. I might make a special and I only sell 10 that day. Get feedback. It wasn't that. I might scratch that off. Or I might switch it up and do a little couple of tweaks. And then I might have something, man, where it's sold out of the park, man. I had guests literally come to the kitchen like, hey, did you make that special, man? Listen, man, I've been coming to this restaurant for the past 3 years, and it's the best special I've ever had, man. I appreciate it. I've had servers come back because the guests want me to come to their table to tell me how good their
Thank the
food
chef.
was.
Yeah.
Or how good,
Yeah.
you know, they want to meet the chef. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those interactions, those
Whoa.
experiences, man, it's priceless, man.
And in those interactions, like you say, you meeting the people. They say, "Oh, you know, he just made this food." Are they amazed at who you are when they see your face? In some cases.
In some cases, you know, people can give you a poker face, you know. But I mean, you know, not everybody, you know, again, everybody's not that way. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Then you do have those occasions, you know, and it's and I love it when it's that way because now I shocked you. Yeah, I like to shock people. So, you know, I come to the table like, oh, you're the head chef? Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah. You didn't know. You didn't know. You didn't.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you didn't see that pigmentation. Yeah, that pigmentation.
Hey, people ask me, they try to test my brain to see what knowledge I know, and hey man, I can do this and do that, do this and do that, and I'll break it down to them. They'll be like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Gotcha. You know, it doesn't take me. I mean, with the experience now, man, it doesn't take me long to come up with a menu. You know, I do overthink. I mean, that's anybody that's going to take pride and passion in what they do. This is not a job anymore. It being a job left a long time ago. It's a passion now. It's fun. It's my sanctuary. I love being in the kitchen, man.
Good.
You know, I love being busy. I love the camaraderie with the team. You know,
Again, I think with you, and let me ask you this: I with that, since we tie this in the correlation with sports, does it tie in, or does it kind of bring you back to sports in a sense? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know, me playing quarterback and safety. You know, being one of the captains when we played ball in high school, I took that with me, and it's the same thing because everybody comes to me, man. And you know, I have people be like, "Man, how you so calm when it's so busy?" And I'm the eye of the storm. I'm the eye of the storm. Because if I get rattled, you guys are gonna get rattled.
Yeah.
So if I keep it together, I can keep you guys together. So I tell them, man, you know, I come from a big family, so I've always been around a lot of people, man. You know, I keep to myself, but I come from a big family. I've always been around a lot of people, whether it was sports or whatever the case may be. So it's nothing different from me. In every restaurant I went in, man, I always wanted to go to the top. Whatever it took, show me the blueprint to get to the top. And, you know, and I accomplished every goal. There's not been one restaurant, man, I haven't left a stamp on that, man. I still keep in contact with people from 15 years ago. Hey, if I was still in Miami and I opened up my restaurant, they would come work for me. Because of the relationship I built with them, you know?
So the restaurant industry is a lot of, like you mentioned, we were talking earlier, a lot of relationship building, because you mentioned that you established some relationships with some people and got in contact with some pretty, you know, heavy names that we know about. So it's all relationship building, and life is about relationship building with any business. People are your lifeline, right? We all will agree with that. So I believe in, like you say, treating people good, you know, giving them the best experience as possible. But like you just said, building on a relationship. So in the restaurant industry, as you already know, it is key. You know what I mean? It's a big thing. If you're not establishing and building on those, that business kind of goes away. So that makes sense.
So let me ask you a question real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
What's up?
Yeah, let me ask a question because we talked about, like, you know, like just like in football, just like, you know, and in sports, you'll see someone doing something and then you'll also copy it. So what's a particular dish, or it could be from any cuisine. It could have been like you saw some Nigerian folks cook this. You saw some Colombian folks cook this. You saw some Korean folks cook this. Like, what's something that you've taken from another culture and said, I'm gonna make it my own. Not simply just put a twist on it. You're gonna make it your dish. It's gonna be a core feature of your dish. So it could be like a combination of stuff that you've seen. Because, you know, from my standpoint, I would imagine that you would look at different foods being made. You've eaten street food, you eaten comfort food, you eaten fine dining, you eaten airport food. So there's some that you've seen that you've been like, nah, like I gotta incorporate this into the core aspect of my personal menu. This is a core aspect of my menu that I'm gonna adopt. So now people putting on to something, because I've always asked myself, I'm gonna give you a perfect example, because black foods make it to other people's dishes, other people's menus. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give you an example, and that is, I found out, I don't know if you all drink horchatas. Like horchatas, that's like the rice milk drink that you normally get at Mexican restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that actual drink was taken from African Nigerian folks used to make that. They used to drink that with their jollof rice. I forget the history, but somehow, through the course of time, it made it over to Mexico, and Mexicans started incorporating that as a part of their dish. So it went from one person doing it to, in my mind, it's like it went from one person doing it to that person's family and friends doing it. And then everybody assumed, oh, it's a Mexican thing to do it, or it's a regional thing to do it. And it just starts to spread to no one knows where it came from. So, but I've always imagined
national origin.
Yeah, the true national origin. Where did this really come from? So I'm always thinking about, when it comes to chefs, like, do you try to create something that you hope becomes
the next
staple feature of what everybody else eats? They don't know that I made that shit first. Like, you know what I mean? Type time.
You don't set out to try to do that. You stumble on things like that. You stumble on things like that because you cook so much different kind of foods. It might just be one thing that you may take out and put in, and that one thing may change the whole course of that dish, and now that dish take off because of guest liking. My favorite cuisines, man, being honest with you, I'm a big seafood person.
Okay.
That was my next question to get into. What do you do?
Yeah. When it comes to seafood, boss man, I love Italian food. I love making different kind of pastas. I know how to make my own pasta.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I have all my KitchenAid stuff at my house or at the restaurant. I know how to make my own pasta. I learned that it's different kind of flour that you need to use for pasta. A lot of people think it's just a regular flour. No, it's a different kind. You have to let your dough sit and bloom and all that, man. It's a process. But seafood is my biggest, background, I would say, because I'm well rounded. I had an opportunity to work at a South African restaurant, so I learned a lot about spices.
Look, he like
that's real. And the reason why I'm saying that, the reason why I gotta underscore that is I visited South Africa before, right? I didn't realize, especially I went to Cape Town, I didn't realize how big seafood is. So much so. Like going to a seafood restaurant, I went to a seafood restaurant in Cape Town, and you would have thought they pulled every freaking fish out of the ocean and made a meal out of it, right? Because
is that many dishes?
So many different type of fish you can eat, and every fish, the texture of the fish is completely different from one fish to the next.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I worked at a seafood restaurant.
Like crazy.
Prime Fish.
Blew my mind.
Prime Fish, right on South Beach. We had 24 different kind of fish.
Yeah.
Dang.
24 different kind of fish. And 18 of them were butchered in-house.
Wow.
That's how I learned how to fillet and butcher. Because we had to cut all our fish in-house. When I went to Prime 112, we had to cut all our steaks.
So they taught you guys all that?
Yeah, we got packaged meat, but I got taught by, this is my, my Chef Todd Zimmerman. He got a restaurant down on the Intercoastal and down Fort Lauderdale. It's called Billy Jack's. He branched off and went on his own. But he taught me everything, man. You know, he taught me how to be a leader, taught me how to fillet and butcher. I can break a whole cow down.
Damn.
Break it all the way down. It's nothing to fillet a 80-pound shark or a 100-pound swordfish. I have videos of me doing that. You know, and like you said, going to South Africa, yeah, they're big on that. They're big on seafood.
Big.
They're very big on seafood. They're also big on
It's
like
an interesting fact. I didn't know,
fried,
DA. Thank you.
They're Bora sausages. Those are sausages that you know different from any other sausages. You know, I don't know what samosas is, but a samosa is nothing but a African empanada. Because you know, with an empanada, you know, a lot of people think only the Spanish culture make those.
Yes, correct.
Every culture makes those because it's nothing but a wonton stuffed with whatever you want to put in it. You can put pork, coffee rub pork belly with golden raisins in it and deep fry it. Come out banging. You know, and that's more that, and that's a South African samosas. Or you can put, you know, cauliflower in a samosas and deep fry it. It's you know, they have the different names for them, but it's the same thing. You know, a dish that I love to make is a carrot ginger sauce. What, an edamame spice rice and a soy marinated salmon. And I put crushed wasabi peas around it, pickled ginger carrots on the top. Banging dish. Crazy flavor. Crazy flavor, you know.
That's got that hungry. Got that hungry face right now.
You said wasabi, and I'm like, damn, this man mixing it up.
Or hey, let's keep it with the, you know, the Haitian culture. Fried pork, pineapple barbecue sauce, candy jalapeno. Now you're touching into the island. Pineapple, fried pork, jalapeno.
Some pickles.
Now I've touched the Haitians, the Americans, and the Spanish culture. That's how I try to think of cooking. I need to be able to where each and every person sit down at a table can be either familiar with my dish or have a craving for it. I don't want to make food for a certain culture. You know, so I'll take bits and pieces from each culture and come up with a component and a main dish where everybody will be inspired and want it. And that's how you have to do it, man, and to stay, man, because, you know, we have our ups and downs. It's not respected as how it used to be. You know, it's fallen off, you know, with the Uber Eats and things like that. People don't want to come and sit down in the restaurant and eat. You know, it's safety for themselves because certain things are happening. Restaurants
COVID and stuff.
You got these idiots out here that want to, you know, make themselves famous and doing all these crazy things. So the safest place is home. So, you know, a lot of people are ordering and getting their stuff sent. So you have to make an impact, man. When they do step in there, man, it's game changing. You know, I tell my wife is very critical. Like, when I go out to eat, I got to act like a customer. She hates that I critique things because I know everything. Like, I can tell from the moment I taste your mashed potatoes that it was reheated from yesterday. I know the moment I can eat your green beans that green beans was from a microwave warmed up and not put in a saute pan. I can tell all those things. I know when a server has messed up and not put our order in wrong, because you'll get a server, right? This is funny. This is what the servers do. They come to the kitchen. Hey, I apologize. This guest doesn't want this on there. They just told me that. So can you fix it? Right?
Oh,
then they'll
I
go
hate
to
this.
the guest and be like, I apologize. And now you guys are probably familiar with hearing this. The kitchen messed up on the food, or they're dragging a little bit. They're busy back there, so the food is coming out. When all in all, they're the problem because
they're the reason why it's fucked up. They're the reason. They're the reason
why it's messed up. But they're
passing off blame
to look like the good guy. Right.
Put that shit on.
Now you got us in the kitchen, man.
Put that shit on.
Because they changed their food.
Put that shit on.
Yeah, you got the guests, man, at the kitchen because y'all taking too long or y'all forgot to drop the food.
Yeah.
They good because now they tip secured about. But
Mm-hmm.
during time, you pick up on all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I tell them all the time, hey, man, listen, man, I've been doing this too long for you to run that story crossbody.
Yeah.
You know, I've been doing this too long for you to play that game with me. You know, I'm not dumb. How can this ticket just come in 1 minute and here you come around the corner and
come back in there? Yeah.
The guests just changed. They didn't want that. There's no way you ran back here that fast. You typed it in and realized you messed up, and now your quick instant like, let me play him like.
Let me go back. Let me go back in there. Yeah.
That's
hey, that was a perfect example of what I experienced normally when I go in. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me go back. You know what? They're going to get it right out. It may take a little bit longer, but it'll be right out. I'm like, man, you fucked up.
And see, with fine dining and casual dining, that shows you a separation because when things like that happen, you'll have a manager at your table immediately.
Coming up. Yes.
And fine dining.
Hands behind your back. Hands behind the back.
They're coming to accommodate you, or they're coming to apologize.
Give you something free, or give you.
You're not going to get that unless the individual cares that much. And then after you get what you get, like me and my wife went to Capitol Grill a couple of weeks back. They had messed up on their steak. They had to recook their steak over. They brought us free champagne glasses, with champagne in them, complimentary. You're not going to get that in, the second tier and the third tier restaurant.
You're not.
You get what you pay for.
You're going to get that.
You get what you pay for when it comes to those.
You get what you pay for, bro. Yeah. And I tell people all the time that one thing about it, when we get our folks in there that want to complain about how the prices are too high, well, the good thing about life now, you have a phone. And there's a site called look up the restaurant that you want to go to tonight and look at the menu. You can also see what's on the menu, how pricey it is.
How much? Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you're a picky person, you need to look up stuff. I have to look up stuff with my wife. My wife picky. My wife don't eat everything. So when I want to take her out to a nice restaurant, I like to go to new places. I don't like to go to the same place. I like to try new things, Yeah. So I have to look at that menu, man. I have to look. I can eat anything. I don't care.
Well, hold on. I think it's safe to say most men don't give a crap. But I think it's a woman thing. In most cases, women are very picky.
Well, I know some dudes that can be picky though. I know some dudes that can be picky. I got a few that's probably watching this show right now, and I ain't trying to say no names.
Air them out. You ain't trying to air them out right now.
Boy, you picky as hell.
I'm not trying to be in the doghouse. I'm not trying to be in the doghouse. But y'all ain't met nothing like this one here. You understand me?
All right.
And I'm a chef. So I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
She is very picky. But yeah, you're right though. Women are very picky. But I'm telling you, you have to know what you're walking into. That's my thing, man. Look it up, research it. You get a lot of conversation about certain places being racist or not accepting black or Spanish people and things like that.
All right. Since you're already on it, that was my last question. So talk about, is there racism in any form or fashion, whether it's the customers, whether it's the chefs, the workers, any form of racism in the restaurant industry? Talk on that. That's my last question.
Yes. It has existed since I stepped foot into my first day, and it still exists now. The stereotype is black people don't tip. Or if they do tip, they tip cheap. Spanish people don't tip. That's a stereotype. But guess what? There's white people that don't tip too. There's Europeans that don't tip. They all. But a lot of times it goes off of the server itself. Because if you already walking up to my table with that mindset, you're going to give me different energy than you would give somebody that you know is possibly going to tip you $50.
Yes.
You're going to make sure my glass is filled with water. You're going to constantly come back to my table. I love that, man. So when I go in restaurants, man, my tips, you know, it start out high, and it's based on what you don't do. That money goes down. Because I'm in the industry, I know the struggle. Some servers only make $2.50 an hour, guys. So
explain. Yeah, break it down. Say that one more time, because a lot of people don't understand.
Even at the fine dining restaurants, at
the most, you probably gonna make 5 something and change.
So everybody making their money off the tips.
Right. Servers do not make money hourly. They make their monies based off a tip. So it's a hustle. It's a hustle thing. You might have one table that'll take care of you, that'll drop you a tip that'll take care of you for the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're already starting off in a good position. You still got 6 more hours left. You know, and then
you happy, cheery,
service,
ready to go.
Right, you good. Ain't nothing can knock you. You good. You done met your quota. One thing I always tell, you know, you wouldn't believe it, but servers make the most money in a restaurant. They make more. A good server makes more money than the head chef, the general manager, the bar manager. Some servers make $80,000 or better. Some make 6 figures.
Damn.
Serving, only tips.
I don't believe that.
Only.
Hey, hold on. Time out. Fine dining restaurants.
You said they make more money than some of the head chefs.
Yes, they do.
Would you say they make more money than the head chef? Like, how much are we bringing in there? If I'm the restaurant owner, I would imagine my head chef is probably like the highest paid employee I have on staff. I would imagine.
Salary.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
it has to be a chef-driven restaurant.
Okay.
Meaning, like, the chef is at the top. Normal restaurants is like the opposite way. GM then the chef, or some restaurants they're parallel.
Hey, we got one of our teammates talking shit about us, Mr. Adeline Francis.
Who is this?
Adeline Francis. Y'all
Mr.
boys like y'all 60 years old. FSU gonna lose this week, and Teron bar your restaurant. I'm gonna go to your restaurant so I can complain. He talking shit already. All right, let's talk shit. It's
man.
all cool.
Hey,
it's all good.
It's gonna be a hell of a week, baby. You know it's gonna be a hell of a week, man.
Listen, this shit here gotta go. I'm sorry. This shit here gotta go.
It gotta go.
Yeah, it gotta go. But that's another story. But anyway.
Pigeons on a stick. Pigeons on a stick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Pigeons on a stick. But
not even fine dining, man.
Yeah, but you know, okay, so we go back to fine dining. Fine dining, an average check for one guest probably between $125 and $175.
Yeah,
I can see that.
And they can go higher than that. Dude,
yeah,
we got fine dining. A baked potato is $18. A baked potato. A side of mashed potato is $16. A side of cream corn is $14. This is a small dish that you're getting. You know, you have different levels of shrimp and crab legs and things. Like, you get one crab leg, one king long crab leg, $35. One shrimp, $10. One shrimp, $10. That's the difference between fine dining. But of course, it's the quality of food too. You're gonna get your prime, your Kobe, you know, your snow crab, stone crab. You're gonna get those in the fine dining and high volume, high end restaurants. You're not gonna get that in the low end restaurants. You know, your Applebee, they're gonna serve you sirloin steak, which is a flat, tough steak. But you can go to, you know, a steakhouse that's high end, and you're gonna get, you know, filet, double porterhouse, tomahawk steak, you know, big steaks. You know what I'm saying? So it's different levels. You get what you pay for. Honestly, you know, a lot of fine dining places make all their sauces in the house. There's no such thing as A1 in my restaurant right now. We don't have.
Hey, listen. So us black folks, let me say this. Us black folks, let me tell you this. Listen, when you go to these spots, and don't be asking for no A1 or no Heinz 57 sauce, because they don't.
You're gonna get disappointed.
Carry it. They're gonna look at you like, oh, you're not used to being here. That's the look you're gonna get. You're not used to fine dining.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
You want a steak? You want sauce on your steak? You want some sauce? I'm gonna give you this peppercorn bordelaise. What is that?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cream based sauce.
Mm-hmm.
But it packed flavor. It ain't gonna be what you used to, but it packed flavor. Or a red wine demi sauce. Well, what is that? Red wine in a bottle, put it in the pot, reduce it down to it's somewhat syrupy, and add a little demi roux to it, season it up. Now you got some sauce. You know, but I want to go back to the racism thing. So that's the stereotype on that, and you have servers that'll push off certain tables to other servers because they don't want to serve that particular race. Now it's funny because, and I'm not racist at all. I love all walks of life. You know, I grew up in a melting pot city, so there's no racism with me at all. Even when I know you're racist, I still treat you as a human being. And what I mean by that is that you hear the whispers through the restaurant on what server is racist or shows racism and things like that. And that could be the same guy that come and dap me up every day and come and ask me how my day going, how my family doing. And I'm black too. But when it comes to the guest, it's a different ball game. The racism still exists in the restaurants, but it's only to guests. If it occurs with employees, it's killed real fast because everybody wants to protect their brand. Everybody has HR now. So the moment that happens, you know, they're letting that person go. Because if I go to social media and type that up and I'm an employee, that speaks volume. So they limit that. But they're passive aggressive with knowing that this server is probably our top 2 server bringing in sales, but he's also racist a little bit. You get that a lot in every restaurant. No one can tell me that they still don't exist or deal with that on a day-to-day basis. My particular restaurant, I'm the only black man. So when we have our nightly emails explaining what took place, you know, whether the good and the bad or the issues and stuff like that, I can see them scream their words on what they really want to say. Or you'll see a line say, "Ted, I sent you a private email about this matter."
Yeah.
Why I can't be in the managers meeting? It's 7 of us. Why I can't be in where everybody knows? You know, and like I said, I was telling Lump, my particular restaurant.
Please don't say the name though. Please don't say the name.
Say the name because
they don't deserve that.
They don't deserve it, and I'm still there. But they know I'm not lying if they happen, and none of them on my Facebook anymore or anything like that. But I'm gonna watch how big your eyes get. Listen to this. We're having a managers meeting. They come up, okay, so we're gonna raise the prices on our food, and we're gonna take off the fried chicken dish and the chicken wings dish, so we can try to push out that crowd of people. Well, elaborate for me? Who is that crowd of people?
Who's that crowd of people?
Yeah, you know who the crowd of people are, DA. Who eat chicken and chicken wings?
I mean, everybody eats chicken. Everybody eats chicken, but
no.
Everybody eats chicken, but you know, it just got to make them say what they really want to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Why raise the prices? Because black people are wealthy too. So why I don't understand. Why you trying to raise the prices?
Oh, they're not going to pay these prices. Those people,
right? But if people do their research, Popeyes, KFC, Church's Chicken was all founded by a white man.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You know what I'm saying? White people eat chicken too.
It's
an
ignorant kind of philosophy for that establishment to kind of have, but it's.
You know what I hate the most? Let me tell you this. This is what I hate the most. When I'm on the line and well done steak or mid-well steak come back or a well done burger. Oh, well, we know what type of people those is. And I've had to check some of my workers in the past. Because in their mind, if a well done mid-well or a well done burger comes back, that's a black person. Oh, that's a Spanish person. Granted, 70% of the time you are absolutely right, because that's what we like. But why does that matter?
Then why is that an issue?
Why is it not pointed out when a rare or a mid-rare steak come back? Oh, that's a white person steak. Why is that not pointed out? You don't speak on that. And my chef that I currently work with, he'll come up with a steak special and be like, you guys can't serve it under medium. If they want it under medium, over medium, they can't have it. This is an $85 steak, especially that we're making. We're going to turn them down because they want it well done or mid-well. That's their money. They have every right to pick how they want the food coming out to them. Oh, I can't believe somebody will order a $125 steak well done. So what?
What difference does it make?
You're not there to critique that. You're there to make sure the food is right. So that's another stereotype in the kitchen.
Damn.
Yeah. Or you get a 12 top party, you get a 12 people ring in, and majority of it is fried shrimp, fried oysters, fried chicken, shrimp and grits.
Doesn't matter.
Burger. Oh, that's a black party. Well, we know what party that is.
Yeah.
Why is that even being discussed?
Because it has been allowed for so long to be okay.
Oh, it hasn't been nipped in the bud or addressed when it first came. Okay.
Because see, with me, I'm confident. I know my skill set. You can't rattle me. You can't tell me nothing different. I done put the work in, right? But everybody's not in that position. Everybody can't speak. So I speak for them. I'm the voice. I don't care. I'll ruffle feathers. You know, because the moment you try to speak on that or go against that, they'll get rid of you. They'll find a way to get rid of you.
Well, I'm gonna teach on this.
Now you're angry. Now you're angry.
An angry black woman, an angry black man. I'm gonna touch on this, and then we're gonna jump off here. So this is the thing, right? I've been at this job for a while, for about 7 years, where I was previously, and you know, it was time for me to leave after the 4th year. But I said, let me just stick it out. Got comfortable, whatever the case may have you. And then they brought in a different management. It's always with management. Brought her in. Oh, they're gonna come in, try to change the culture. Try, but we've been doing things this way, and it's been successful. But you're coming in trying to make it things differently, right? So I have to speak up my, say what was on my mind, because with the other person, I said what was on my mind, but we were always at odds, and I was always in HR. But I said my piece. She was a minority, woman or whatever, plays sports and everything. Brought in this other individual. She was minority, but Spanish. All right. And I happened to tell her, she brought me in, and I was like, yo, ever since you came in here, I was doing things your way. I haven't been successful. But what did I just do? I just threw myself under the bus, because I just told her indirectly, you terrible at your fucking job.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you this to your face. So there was a sentence for myself to get my ass thrown out. And guess what? It did happen. So ever since then, weed me out, doing small things. And guess what? But you can't say that. You gotta see, what I mean? And that's just the thing. It happens. Once you say do certain things, they trying to get you up out of there. Oh, nah, we can't have you in here. You gonna say what's so you gonna they hate that.
One of my a good white chef that I learned a lot of things from told me straight up, I don't hire white American cooks. I was like, never heard that before. Why, chef? Because they already come in, because me being a white chef, that they're privileged to get a pass. And they don't work hard because they're so privileged to think that I'm going to be okay because I'm a white American. Like literally, our kids,
well, you said a mouthful.
From the dish guys all the way up, predominantly black. 5 years I worked for that company, and when I say it wasn't a racist bone in this man's body, he
just knew what it was.
His race, what it was.
He just knew what it was.
And even when he would when every now and then, he'll get a good feel for somebody, and there'll be a white person that come in, they wouldn't work out. He'd say it instantly. That's why I don't hire white people in the kitchen.
Damn.
He'll say
Now,
that
is
instantly.
that a thing as a such thing? Because I've been hearing this term reverse racism. Is that such a thing?
Nah,
It's
man.
not.
I don't think
It's not.
But guess
It's
what?
not.
Guess what? Everybody in that kitchen, we was willing to fight for that man.
Cut what he stood for.
Willing
Yeah,
to fight
that's
for
good.
that man.
Mhm.
Because we knew he had a pure heart and good intentions for us. You know, he wanted to see us do good. But where they're quick to get rid of us. You talk back. You come in. Listen, you can come in looking high, right? Hey, going around. Sorry.
All right, you good.
No, you're good. You're good.
Hey, you can come in looking high, right? And you're black. That's a bad thing. But you allow them to constantly go out and take breaks and smoke on their vape. What you think, that's cigarettes? That's, you know, they're smoking weed on the vape too. But if you came in high and you're black, that's a problem. But I'm cool with them going and taking breaks and puffing on their little weed vapes and coming back to work.
Yeah. Puffing on Zoom.
And they get the full extent of 3 write-ups, a warning before they're fired, and a suspended for a week.
With
One
pay.
time. Don't show up to work. You out of there. But they can not show up to work and they good. I had a young lady, we supposed to do deep clean. A young lady had already had her hair appointment set in the afternoon. Mind you, this is in the afternoon. So she already built the hair appointment around her schedule work. But everybody was supposed to come back in at night to do deep clean. We were going to clean the whole entire kitchen, spotless, right? She couldn't come. Chef found a way to fire her because of that. Now, he took a week or so because he ain't wanted to make it be so much about because she didn't come that day. He took a week or so to fire her, but it was for that day. But yet and still, you let 2 white ladies that prep cooks not come. You didn't write them up and fire them. Oh, it was because they worked 6 days a week. Well, that young lady worked 6 days a week. She worked the same schedule they did. I don't understand. And they were off the next day, so I still didn't understand. But you wanted me to come in on my day off and come in and help clean. And this is mandatory to these guys. And, you know, it's some people, you know, do things that warrant an immediate termination. But some people can get a talk to. Some people can get a warning. That doesn't always happen. You know, they quick to get rid of us.
Yeah. But that's just one of those things. And that's another hour or 2 conversation. But we do this thing that we call what we standing on regarding a topic or just you in general with the knowledge that you provided for us. So I'll go first. So what I stand on this interview is you brought some information that I didn't know about the industry that exists that you wouldn't know if you were basically on the outside in. So I stand on that, you know, treat everybody the way you want to be treated and you'll get those positive results. So that's what I stand on. DA?
Man, I stand on based on this conversation is to you know, appreciate the work that goes on behind the scenes in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? A lot of chefs like Chef T are really bringing their whole personal history to bear when they get behind them pans and start cooking. You know what I'm saying? So definitely appreciate the cooks and appreciate the time that they take to make the food that they make and the history and everything that goes into making food, because I'm pretty sure there's probably like a Chefs Without Borders program somewhere where they got chefs going bouncing around from all around the country, all around the world, just learning about food making and also the business. We didn't really talk. We talked about the business, but we didn't get too much deep into the other aspects of the business. So maybe another conversation. But I stand on that this was a very good and informative meeting for us to have.
Definitely, man.
And what are you standing on, Chef T, at this moment?
What I stand on, man, is being true to yourself first. You know, don't be somebody you're not. You know, who you are is who you are. You know, I always said, leopard always shows their stripes. You know, I stand on, man, you know, if you stick with it long enough and, you know, you got a goal set for yourself, nothing's gonna knock you off that. And I've been through a lot of obstacles in this industry. I've had wish that I didn't get as far as I am, or wish that I did wrong. You know, I had guys when I was trying to get there. You know, a good friend of mine, man, I was making $23 an hour. I was getting 30 hours overtime every week. But that wasn't what I wanted to do, just be a line cook. And I was like, man, I'm trying to be a chef. He was like, man, you making $23 an hour, you getting 30 hours, man, you good, man, stay right there. And I'm like, nah. So I left that and became
mentality, baby.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? This 2022, he's still there as a line cook. And I done went to 4 or 5 different restaurants, and I done reached my goal, which was a head chef. If I would have listened to him, which a lot of people do, listen to their peers, I'd have still been there.
Still been back there.
Still been back there. You know, and once you get older, man, it's about working smarter, not harder. Let me finesse this now.
Facts.
I'm still cooking.
Yeah.
I'm still cooking, but guess what? When I was that 23-hour paying job person, when the summertime came, when it got slow, I was the first one out the door. They cutting hours. They cutting me. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't getting all that. But now when you go into salary, and salary has their pros and cons. Salary, hey, you're getting benefits. It's guaranteed all year long.
Mm-hmm.
But the cons is you're going to work more hours than you would make.
Yeah.
And, you know, once you go over 40 hours, every hour after that, your dollar rate goes down.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some days I could be making $13, $14 an hour. And I got my cook standing here making $20, $22 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say you have to take out the mindset of the money, and it has to be a passion for you. You have to love it.
Yeah.
You know, eventually the money's going to come. Yes, some places have benefits, some places have bonus, but eventually the money will come. And I don't know how much time we got, but
got a few more minutes, about 5 more minutes.
Okay, well, if you're ready, and speaking on going into the business and being a private, you know, once I felt like I was ready, once I had did all these menus and I started doing specials and things like that, that's when I was like, okay, I'm ready to take on this challenge. Now, I had tested the waters a couple of times before I even made my LLC, where I was working at a call center with about 1,000 people working there. And I started cooking out my house. And I would cook for the day shift.
Stop. Y'all heard what he said. He was at a call center. He was working on his plan B at the same time. People, it can be done. You just have to divide your time up. And we were talking to Chef T. Spend your time wisely. Cut your friends out. Stop hanging out. Plan. Stay up longer. Do certain things. Hang around people that's doing better than you, that think higher than you, that make more money than you. This will elevate your thinking and possibly your business. Continue, sir. I'm sorry. I had to say that. Go ahead.
Listen, you got to be willing to do what everybody don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Period. If it was easy, everybody be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't easy at first because, like I said, I was doing it by myself. And I was 22 years old doing this, man. You know, I started cooking food. I would cook for the morning shift. I worked morning shift. You know, I had the food there, boxed up, ready to go. I would take my orders at the beginning of the week, so I knew exactly what I needed. I didn't overcook food. I didn't have nothing to go to waste. And then when I got off, I would go home and cook for the nighttime crew and bring food back up there. The only reason I stopped because it was too much on me. You know, I didn't have the help, so I took a break on it. Then when I moved back to Miami, I tried it again, and I had friends that was, you know, let me do their sorority parties, you know, things like that, and I started doing it again, and I took a break again. So, but during that process, I'm still working, I'm still learning new things, but I'm learning from my mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, I just did 40 people down in Miami, 4-course meal off of a two-person private birthday dinner in a hotel. I went down there, we decorated this hotel up, and I cooked in front of these people. They had me on their live, and I'm explaining each dish that I'm bringing to them. And word of mouth, man. You know, this young lady, sister, had a 40 people party she wanted to do. Reached out to me. I'll travel anywhere, wherever you at, and I'm bringing a crew.
So
we went down to Miami, did the 4-course meal, did a great job, man. You know, so you got to keep working. You got to stay consistent, keeping yourself relevant. You know, I started my LLC. I'm doing private dinners now and private events when they pop up. I do want to branch off into the food truck industry, and that's my next goal. And from the food truck, I'm just going to go into a brick and mortar private event. I don't want a big restaurant. I'm cool with a 65 to 70 seat mom and pops restaurant where I can impact each guest, because it's like going to a big college. You go in those classrooms, you're just a number. You go to
when you go to a small school, it's more intimate. Yes.
Yes, so intimate. You get more of an interaction. You're not looked at as a number. They know when you didn't show up to school today. Versus a big school, they don't care. So that's my same philosophy when I go to my own business and restaurant. I want to interact with everybody that's stepping in. I want you to see me. My kitchen will be open. You will see me. I do run food to tables. I will go bust a table down if I see the servers are busy. I'll go pick the dirty plates and spoons and things like that up. And people admire things like that. Wow, look at the chef. Because there's a stigma that, you know, we're arrogant, we're cocky. Oh, you know, we think we're above all. We walk around with just clipboards. No. Some of them do, some of them don't. I'm a hands-on chef. You know, I get dirty every night.
Nice. Nah, bro, that's big and major. But you on your way, and like I said, I told him, you know, a few people already. I say, listen, man, we, you know, finna get this guy up here to do some things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you my damn self. Hey, listen, man, I don't feel like cooking. Just come on over, bruh. Cook me some dishes. My favorite, oxtail and lamb. Those are my two favorite meat dishes all day long.
Hey, I can bang it out too, man. Curry oxtails, however you want it, man. Curry oxtail, I kill them. I kill them with that, man. Listen, I do breakups. I do breakup events.
Wait, he said it and paused like, yeah, nigga, I said it. I did say that. So
yeah, I had to
breakup event. There's not an event I won't cover.
Okay.
You know, if you know, and you tell me what you want, what you're looking for.
Listen,
I throw my ideas.
Before we go, tell the people where they can find you, man. All your platforms. Shout that out real quick.
All right. Well, I mean, you know, you can find me on IG Upscale Bar. My TikTok is 904 Brunch for Lunch. Then you got me on Facebook. My regular name Teron Bar. That's pretty much it that you can find me on. I'm not really a big social media. I'm trying to get to that point. But man, you can always.
Hey, that's where the money at, boss. You know that's where the money at.
Hey, got my wallet.
So, so that's what we gonna leave with, man. Like I say, I enjoyed you, man. A lot of interesting facts and different things that I didn't know about the industry. Now I can really pay attention to and just watch and observe. I said, yeah, see, that's what Upscale Bar talked about on the show. Oh, look at this. Let's point this out.
Hey, listen, it's gonna open your mind. It's gonna open your eyes up a little more. You're gonna pay attention to things that you wouldn't have paid attention before, and that's what happened with me. You know, being in the industry, I started paying attention to a little bit more things when I go to other restaurants. I'm like, you know, why is it taking that long? Dang, it's taking a long time for y'all to come and greet us to give us something to drink. You know, you should be hitting the table within 2 to 3 minutes once they sit down.
Now, and in most cases, if I don't get that within the turn, I'm walking out. If I don't get nobody wait, I'm walking out. I don't care if I was waiting. I'm walking out. I'm going somewhere else.
Hey, and I would tell this. I'm giving everybody this advice. If your food is not correct, do not snap before you send it back. Do not snap before you send it back. Me personally, if my food is not correct, if I can eat it, I finish it, and then I just won't never come back to the restaurant. But I don't send food back.
Why?
I don't send food back. Why? Because you never know what's going on at that moment.
Or in the back.
That cook that might have to recook your food or do whatever, they pissed off. They might do something extra to it.
So
then now you having multiple people either stare over your food, breathe over your food because they're trying to find out why you sent it back, and they're in this discussion on, well, the guy asked for a medium, it's mid well, and da da da. Your food is being, What I try to do, and this is an advice, and this even at fast food spots. If there's something you can modify on the dish to where you know it's going to come out fresh, do that. Okay? Because a lot of times people will flip plates. You might have a steak that's been sitting up there for an hour, maybe 30 minutes because it was extra cooked. And now it might fall on your plate because it's the temperature that you asked for it to be.
So you hear that, DA?
If there's a way you can modify your food, and what I mean by modify is either taking something off, adding something on, even just a simple fact of, hey, light salt and pepper, or no pepper. Just something simple, no pepper. Because you can add pepper at the table for yourself, or no salt. You can add it at the table for yourself. But that stops you from getting something that's old, or stop you from getting something that's,
already been sitting there, I guess. Yeah, like you just said. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that it always happens, but these are experiences that I'm giving people that don't see the behind the scenes things.
We know stuff happens. We know stuff happens. We just don't know exactly what happens.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah. If you ever don't never get it twisted. It happens. Not everybody does it. You have those bad individuals that exist that do things like that, and that goes back to what I was telling you, Lump, at the beginning of the show. That's what's the struggle of people coming out and wanting someone else to cook for them. People are either getting it bagged up or they're doing it on their own. We're still trying to keep that above float. And, food is always going to exist. You got to eat. As long as a baby is being created every second, every minute, it's always going to be somebody that's hungry. So this industry is always going to be around. It's just going to take its ups and downs.
Yeah, exactly. Man, again, want to thank you, man. Right now for your expertise. I ain't know it's been 20 years though, boss. Gosh, Lee. I ain't know.
If you like that.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for your service, man. Like I say, I'm gonna hire your butt for sure. Coming soon. Might not be this year. We'll see, depending on my schedule, because it's hectic. But I'm gonna get you in for sure, man. So,
listen, man. I'd love to do this podcast again, maybe another topic, or we can, piggyback off this topic. I'm all
for sure.
I already talked to you, Lump. I told you my Sundays are free. I like this kind of interaction, man. And I look forward to doing with you and whoever else, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. Listen, I'm gonna be doing some things to put your stuff out there, man, so people can know who the hell you are on my platform, so they can see us. Hey, he in Florida. He will come to you and do an event. So you get some business from here. It's funny. My brother did this show, and we had a thing on here. He said 50% off. Somebody bought right then and there on the spot. So people look for that stuff, man. You know what I mean?
I'm not expensive.
Yeah,
I'm not expensive at all, man. I'm not expensive. I interact with the guests, whoever's hosting it, and I ask them, what's your price point? What are you trying to serve? What are you looking at? Yeah. And, based on what you want, things like that. I still, because I've networked with so many vendors throughout my time, I can find good product for good prices. So a lot of people get scared, man. A private chef, they think it's expensive.
It sounds expensive, private chef. It sounds
expensive, but it's not. It's really not. It's what you want. I'm catering to your needs. If you don't want it, I don't have to give it to you.
That's
you don't want that certain kind of thing, it's pretty much, a lot of people in restaurants fall in this place, man, like, their dreams and ideas are bigger than their pocket. You got to stay. Yeah. You got to stay with what you can afford. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Don't think it's expensive. It's not a hard job, man. I love it. And look forward to meeting or doing more things, in the future.
All right. So, all right, guys. So we thank everybody that's been on. DA, with your questions. Chef T, thank you, man, for your expertise again. And like I say, we'll sign off. We're gonna see you soon, man. And like I said, we're gonna probably do this again for sure, man. So, all right, so that's all we have. Y'all make sure y'all go follow, share this, comment, subscribe to the YouTube, all that good stuff. We'll see y'all later, man.
Yes, sir.